Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a STORM SORCADIN, which is a sorcerer Paladin build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. This is actually an incredibly powerful combination, and I came up with some unique synergies that can make this extremely strong. So, we actually want to start as a sorcerer because this gives us constitution saving throw proficiency, so we'll be more likely to hold our concentrations. As for the best cantrips, we obviously want Shocking Grasp, that works well with the Sorcerin, but also Ray of Frost is nice cold damage that can reduce movement speed. If you're the face of the party, take Friends. If not, Minor Illusion and either Mage Hand or Bone Chill are great cantrips to take. As for the spells at level 1, I would recommend having Chromatic Orb for lightning damage, and then Shield as a nice backup because it gives us a +5 to armor class. Now we're going to take the Storm Sorcerer, which lets us fly as a bonus action without receiving opportunity attacks. That is really nice early on in the game for survivability's sake. And as for our ability scores, we do need Charisma for both classes. However, 16 will be more than enough. We want to have a decent bit of strength though too, so you can put a lot of your points into strength. This is a bit of a multi-attribute dependent build since we do need a bit of dexterity alongside a bit of our strength too. So ideally you could have your strength be around 16 with 12 dexterity, 14 constitution, 16 charisma. However, you can also put your points into dexterity if you want to focus more on a dexterity based build. So you can go with either of those, and even something like this could work if you want to be dexterity based. I'll be showing you what a strength potion can do for this build, but at the end I'll be going over all the different gear options because there's some really cool synergies that we got here. So level 2, we're going to take Magic Missile. That's just a great guaranteed damage spell. Thunder Wave is nice as well, but not something we need to focus too heavily on. We want Twin Spell and Distance Spell. Distance Spell will allow us to cast spells further, and Twin Spell lets us do Twinned Haste, which is absolutely broken. We definitely want that. As for our next leveled spells, we do want Misty Step. We will get Hold Person from the Paladin, so this isn't a necessity. Unless you want it early game, it can be an option, but we're going to go with our Misty Step there. And Quicken Spell, letting us cast a spell as a bonus action. That is huge and makes this a really powerful build because a sorcerer can even attack and also spell cast. And for our next leveled spell, Mage Hand. And for a level 2 spell, Scorch and Ray can be an okay one. Doesn't really fit the theme of this build very well, but it can be nice. And also Darkness can also work alongside this build. Some people are a fan of Clouded Daggers. If you're gonna be taking this all the way, Hold Person will likely be a good spell, but we do get it from the Paladin. So Invisibility can be another good one. Gives us advantage on our attacks, and can be a nice Band of the Mystic Scoundrel spell to cast. As for our ability score improvement, I think it's best to go with higher charisma. That's just going to make us stronger flat out, so that's something we want. As for our next level spell, at level 5, Haste is huge because we can twin haste to ourselves. Lightning Bolt's another good one. Lightning Bolt's going to be guaranteed damage that we desperately need, so we're going to take that at level 6 or level 5, and then for level 6, we're going to take Haste. Also at this level, we get ourselves a few nice bonuses. So we get the Heart of the Storm, which gives us 3 lightning damage or 3 thunder damage whenever we deal lightning or thunder. Creates a small storm and hits enemies there. And then we also gain resistance to lightning and thunder damage. Alongside, we get some spells. We get Call Lightning. This is great because you can cast as a concentration and continually keep casting it and deal that 3d10 lightning damage, which is doubled upwards of you can do upwards of 60 damage if you have Create Water set up, which we also get. And then we also get ourselves Thunder Wave, so that's what I mentioned earlier. Gust of Wind to knock creatures off balance, and Sleet Storm to upset concentrations. So level 5 or level 6 is a pretty big spike for us. And then level 7 we can continue on, but I actually think it's best to add in the Paladin at this point. Oath of the Ancients if you want to have more of a healing role on the team, but I think that Oath of Vengeance just ends up being stronger because we're going to get some really nice spells, which I'll go over. So level 2, we get our Divine Smites and our Fighting Style. Great weapon fighting if you're using a two-handed weapon because that'll reroll the damage die on your smites as well. But even defense is great for a +1 armor class. So go with either great weapon fighting or defense, or even dueling if you're using a shield, because we can roll with a shield on this build, and it works out actually pretty well. Now, we want to take all the smites that we can get. They're not ones you're going to use often because they use your bonus action, which is something we can cast spells with. But Command is an amazing spell to take, so we want that. Divine Favor is alright to take, and then even Cure Wounds, not amazing. Take Bless if you don't have someone on your team with Bless, but typically you'd want to run a Cleric, and likely a Tempest Cleric alongside this. So we get our Hunter's Mark at next level, and the Vow of Enmity, which allows us to cast on ourselves and get attack rolls advantage. Divine Health prevents disease from affecting us. That's nice. Where this build really comes together is in another level. So we get ourselves Blessed there, and we can take an ability improvement to take our Charisma up, or we can go higher in the Dexterity. There is also some other options like Wardcaster to give advantage on saving throws, a whole concentration, and get Shocking Grasp. But we have the Constitution Amulet, so we can also go with... I guess we don't get heavy armor proficiency unless we start as the Paladin, so that's a little bit of an issue there, but we can take ourselves the Charisma to boost that up. Or we can go with the heavily armored to gain heavy armor proficiencies. We could even go Dexterity based, that's another option, or even take Alert. Dexterity is a pretty decent one to add into, because that allows us to use finesse weapons a little bit stronger. But here's where this all comes together. We get Misty Step, Hold Person, and an extra attack, and some level 2 Smite spells, so that's nice. We can take Magic Weapon and Divine Smite there. And then for the final level, we get ourselves either Aura of Protection for the plus... we'd get a +4 to saving throws for the whole team, which is really nice. However, I think it's best to get an extra sorcery point and level 4 spells. So we can take something like Counterspell, Wall of Fire. Ice Storm kind of fits the theme of this build, and even Greater Invisibility is nice, but we're going to go with that. Now, since we can do a bit of some invisibility shenanigans... the only unfortunate thing is if we don't start Paladin, we don't get the heavy armor proficiencies, but we do get medium armor proficiencies, so that can be another option we could go with. So we have a nice 25 armor class with this. The Armor of Agility is incredible for that. It adds our Dexterity modifier, so that's why I went a little bit in on the Dexterity. We got the Corpse Grinder for the hammer. This deals thunder damage, which is going to help with our Gloves of the Belligerent Sky. So when we deal thunder, lightning, or radiant damage, we get inflict 2 turns of reverberation on the target. Boots of Stormy Clamor when the wearer deals in a condition, which Ability Drain, the Illithid ability, is a condition. This gives 2 more stacks of reverberation. We have the Helm of Baldur to give a +1 armor class, saving throws, can't be stunned, can't be critical hit. However, there are some other options like the Helmet of Arcane Acuity, which will give us a higher spell save DC on attack. So with that, we'd probably want to use hand crossbows, and then also on top of that, use arrow mini targets to stack that up. We'd also go with the Arcane Acuity Storm hat there, because we do deal thunder damage with this weapon. So there's a bit of synergy there. And even like the Birthright for +2 to Charisma is really nice. Ring of Protection and the Killer Sweetheart for increased armor class, as well as the ability to hit a critical hit once per long rest, which is really nice. Although there are some other rings, like the Risky Ring to give it advantage on attacks, or the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, my favorite. What's nice about this is you can cast illusion or enchantment spells as a bonus action. So we actually have quite a few illusion and enchantment spells. We got Hold Person, which is enchantment. We got Command, which is enchantment. We got Invisibility, which is another illusion spell. So we got actually quite a few options. We got a lot of spells here, and that's the beautiful thing about a Sorcerer. So we got this nice mallet here, the Corpse Grinder. This is a thunder-based hammer. We can also swap this out for the Nyrulna. If you want to go with like the Nyrulna and go more of a throwing build, that's another option you can go with. We'd probably want to take Tavern Brawler if that's the case, but it deals thunder damage, so fits alongside our build very well. However, there is another nice thing that we could do with this build. So if you want to use something like the Sword of Chaos, which has a nice ability to regain health on hit, or even something like the Falar Aluve, which is a lot of people's favorite weapon, we can equip a shield with this, giving us a nice 28 armor class. And then I'll show you a nice little benefit of this. So we can just bring our sword out there, switch to Shadowheart, who has the Drake Throat Glaive on here. So the Drake Throat Glaive has the Draconic element. So you can actually apply this with the lightning attack there, and then give your teammate a lightning attack. So now when we go to look at our Falar Aluve, it has additional lightning damage. And then on top of that, we can also go with the Sword Shriek. So we have Celestial Haste from the Gaunter Mail there. What's nice is we can even go with like the Luminous Gloves, because we're going to be smiting a bit, which will give 2 stacks of Radiating Orb, further decreasing the target's attack rolls by 1 every time. So that's -2 to attack rolls. There's a lot of different options. Even the Sparkle Hands has some benefit, but I do think the best way to go about this is the Falar Aluve. Or additionally, we can even go with the Sacred Star, which has Radiating Orb built in, 1 stack, and then Radiant Damage. And then you'd want to use the gloves, the Radiant Gloves there, the Luminous Gloves, to get more Radiant Orbs. You can actually stack like 6 stacks of it at once. But the way that we want to do is have the Melody of the Shriek on. Sing's nice for the benefits, but giving this penalty to Charisma, Wisdom, and Intelligence saving throws and then dealing additional thunder damage is really nice. So We can do the sword shriek, which does make people run from you. You can see the range that you have there. Now, the way we want to go about this is we want to be putting on our buffs. So we got Divine Favor as our additional radiant damage, or even the Inquisitor's Might, which gives our charisma modifier and the ability to daze a target. And when a target's dazed, you can hit them with hold person and they have disadvantage on the saving throw. So lots of synergy here, but typically we want to have a concentration to get additional damage. So we have this, which will deal lightning and radiant damage. So if we go up and attack, we can hit and we can stack reverberation on there with this weapon. So that is one of the beautiful benefits of this, is you get oh, we almost took her out in one hit. Holy crap, that was a lot of damage. So yeah, that did a ton. Put 4 stacks of reverberation. And that's not even getting into Divine Smite. So Divine Smite is just going to be our bread and butter power spell. So it's going to stack up the... Sometimes reverberation won't show on your teammates when you attack them, but you can see there we got more stacks of reverberation. And then once that is applied, you can go with like a hold person, and that'll give you critical hits on the attacks. So that is a really nice benefit of it. Oh, we started a conversation. But yeah, we can also apply Vow of Enmity to ourselves, and then we get ourselves advantage on attack rolls. So when you go into attack, you're much more likely to hit and stack your reverberation stack. So that is the beautiful thing about this build, is we get a ton of damage. Up to level 4 spells will give us increased damage, so you can go around just smiting everyone out of combat, which is a whole lot of fun. It does a ton of damage with this build, and then it builds up the reverberation, which can knock targets prone. And then you can even do something like Thunder Wave to knock targets around. So we got lots of damage options between all of our different spells, and then on top of it, we can cast spells as a bonus action. So things like Thunderbolt, which is like a very powerful spell, we can hit multiple enemies with that. Thunderous Smite, even we got tons of options for damage. Thunder Smite's nice because it knocks creatures back, and then something like Wrathful Smite. Even I attacked the ground there. And Ice Storm is another option for damage. So we got lots of different damage options. Guaranteed damage with Magic Missile, Create Water to double our lightning damage, and things like Cold. That's a good concentration to have for extra damage there. But this build's incredibly powerful because you can attack with Divine Smite twice and then go in and spellcast as well. So lots of damage there. This Storm Sorcadin is extremely powerful, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.